Hi, this is Beata from Splitcoaststampers. In this video I want to show you a fun little fold called the Triangle Trifold card. For my sample I used Crafty Secrets Seaside stamp set, colored it with Copic markers and used paper from Whiff of Joy called Frühlingserwachen. When you open the card up, you'll find 3 panels. You could just not put anything on here, but I thought it would be fun to reveal another panel, another layer. To start out with, you'll need, for my sample, a 4x12 piece of cardstock. You can use any size. The width is 3 times the length. The length is 3 times the width. So for my sample, first we score it at 4 and at 8. The photo tutorial on Splitcoaststampers shows this technique with paper out of with the size that you can use out of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So then just pre-fold those lines, and next add diagonal score lines. It doesn't really matter if it goes from this way or the other way, but on both outer panels the diagonal line has to go the same way. So with my score pal, I just line up the edge of the first panel, the bottom of the neck of the same panel on the other side, and score it. Scoot that down a little bit. And then do it in the same direction on the other outer panel. For me it's easiest to use the 4-inch mark because then I know these 2 little lines are next to it. So then I make sure I use the right score line. Of course you can use your paper cutter with the scoring tool if you want to. Okay, and now we pre-fold those as well. We just fold that up and this one down. But because I use textured cardstock, I'm gonna use the other side because make it so the pretty side, the textured side is up. So now I have my base. It's time to decorate. If you want to add layers, use paper squares that are 3/8 smaller. So this one is, instead of 4, it's 3 5/8 inches, and then you cut that in diagonal. When I cut paper in diagonal, I line it up with my groove and then start in the middle, because sometimes if you start at the edge, you bend your corners. Now you do the same thing with pattern paper, and I already did it and decorated my paper and stitched it, so I have it completely prepared. If you want to add a horizontal layer on your pattern paper like I did, it's easiest if you layer it onto the square before you cut it. But when you cut it, make sure you cut it in the right direction. Ask me how I know that. Okay, so now we just adhere that to my card base. I'm using score tape, but you can use any strong adhesive. You could just make it a 1/4 inch smaller each time, but then you don't see that much from the lower layer. That's why I made it a little bit more and made each of my layers 3/8 smaller than the last. And it's okay if it not completely matches, because we're gonna put stuff over it. Now if you have a hidden panel underneath like I did with my sentiment, make sure you tape this on first. I tape both sides on with dimensionals. Just check which side you can add adhesive to. If you add adhesive on each side, you can't open your little card anymore. So then we tape this on first. center it. Okay, I can still open it. And then I take my main image and add adhesive again. For this I'm using Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, I love those. Now before I tape this on, you can either just run a ribbon, tie the ribbon now, and so it will close your card, or you can add a little hardware like I did. It's a blast from the past, it's some retired hardware from Stampin' Up! And then place your image directly over your sentiment panel. Okay, now before I tape this up, right now the center is a little bare, so I added a piece of white cardstock and cut that down to 3 5/8 so it matches the outside, and a little bit more pattern paper from the Frühlingserwachen paper. Cool that I get to say a German word in this video. And just tape this on. And then all I have to do is tie my bow and my card is done. I hope you try it out. See you next time.